Greeting, traveler.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Born to be Wild, a Wild exclusive Hearthstone podcast where we have fun discussing the Wild format of Hearthstone and showcasing members of the Wild community. I'm your host, Nate Wolf, and very special announcement today. If you hadn't figured out already or seen our posts on Twitter, there are two new long-term permanent guest hosts or co-hosts on the show. So welcome aboard, Mike Lowe and Hydralisk. Yay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
very much.
Some hype news. I'm excited.
It's exciting. It's exciting. And so I think we'll be taking the show in kind of a fun new direction. I mean, all the kind of same old stuff with the awesome new spin, and it should be a lot of fun. So I'm very excited to have you guys around, and we'll see what sort of mischief we can get ourselves into.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I like it.
Mischief being the key word,
right?
Yeah.
And very, very special guest on our show today, Mentalistic. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So just one of the things that we will typically do with guests when we have them on the show is just for folks who aren't familiar with you, as they should be. But can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who are you? How long have you been playing? Why do you like Wild? That sort of thing.
Okay, my name is Mentalistic. I started playing Hearthstone right after the beta. Right after the closed beta. And I started off as an arena player, like watching Trump and stuff like that. And I basically ended up going infinite in arena.
Nice.
Building a free-to-play collection kind of from the ground up. And then I got into standard really big around Naxxramas. And I hit legend the first time at that point with Undertaker Hunter. And ever since, I've been kind of hitting Legend and Standard until a couple months after they released Wild. And then I'm just like, wow, I like this way more. And when they released the Wild Open, so like competitive plus Wild, like that was my main focus, my main drive. Around that time, maybe a little before that actually, I started coaching Hearthstone on GamerSense side.
Oh, right on.
I've been coaching Hearthstone for 4 years now, since 2016. The game's been out for 6 years, so like 66% or 2/3 of its lifespan, and just playing for fun, kind of,
Cool. That's really awesome.
For 4 years, yeah, you got some Hearthstone graduates by now.
Yeah, I have a lot of legend clients, a lot of people who are really skilled in their own right now, obviously just from playing the game more.
Do you still touch arena?
Yeah, all the time, actually. The majority of my clients nowadays, they actually want to focus on going infinite in arena. So
we might have to talk because I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah, it is cool. And the arena metagame is completely different than the normal metagame. And I find that, like, for example, HS replay is a lot more accurate for for arena than it is for something like Wild, for example. Because if a class has a 2% difference in win rate versus another class, that can be huge. Like a 52% overall versus like a 50%. Sometimes like there's minute differences with how often they get good cards from their buckets or things. And paying attention to that, like what class to pick to give you the best win rate, and then tier scores of archetypes within those classes. So you know what to focus on, what archetypes to focus on. And then you could pick specific cards to favor those archetypes. A good example would be Druid. Back when Ultimate Infestation was a card, That's kind of your win condition. So even before you get an ultimate infestation, you can build your entire deck around getting it. So that when you do get it, in the case that you do get it, in that 40% of the time where you get one of those in the draft, you have this really nice ultimate infestation, like aggro deck that cycles and refills its hand or whatever, or mid-range deck. And if it falls apart, I mean, you still have like a solid deck, you know?
For sure.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of different elements of Arena that I really like.
Well, grinding like infinite gold right now is good, saving up for the new set coming out. So
True.
or hey,
I would hold on to it.
Need 500 gold for that card back that some people didn't get.
Oh, really? I have that one, obviously.
Oh, right? Yeah.
This is Max Ramus.
I was 1 month too late. I wish I had it.
500 gold or $3. I don't know. I was just telling somebody in the Discord. This is like the best $3 I ever spent.
Do they give me 500 gold if I already have it?
Right. If only.
That would be pretty cool.
Hearthstone hates veteran players. They're like, you can go fuck yourself.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for calling them out. That is so true.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Hey, so one of the things that we typically will ask our guests is like, how did you come up with your name? Like, where did Mentalistic come from?
Ooh.
Sometimes there's a good story behind it. Yeah.
I guess I sort of started using it when I was playing League of Legends. I don't know particularly why, but I thought it sounds cool. And you know, there's like, okay, it's kind of based off mentalism.
Okay.
Which is just a second. So
I mean,
it says here on the Wikipedia. I thought that this is cool. You know, like you have shows like The Mentalist and stuff like that are interesting. But mentalism is a performing art in which its practitioners, known as mentalists, appear to demonstrate highly developed mental or intuitive abilities. So I'm like put myself a step ahead of the game. I have extra abilities, you know? Performances may appear to include hypnosis, telepathy, clairvoyance, divination, precognition, psychokinesis, mediumship. Ooh, that's creepy. Mind control, memory feats, deduction, and rapid mathematics. That's what we need in Hearthstone. Quick maths.
That's
when I queue into somebody named Mentalistic, I'm already intimidated. Like just from the name alone, it's mind games from the get-go.
I like it. Well, hey, I mean, since we're on that, I swear you made Shia was saying as top 10 sexy men in Wild, right?
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, I got a COVID hair going on right now, giant flow. I gotta go to the barbershop, get it cleaned up a little.
So
I don't know, it looks pretty good to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I'm jealous. Mine's thinning too much. I can't have it long. It just doesn't work anymore.
At one point in time, I did have hair like that, but I got the same problem as Nate.
Yeah.
It just looks a little silly for me at this point.
Oh man. Well, I'm very excited to have you on. So that's super cool. There's before we jump in, like there's tons and tons of news. So you guys have any like hot questions for Mentalistic before we jump in?
Yeah, I have one. So you've been playing since the start. What's your favorite Paladin deck of all time?
Exodia Paladin.
Great answer.
Yeah. I actually hit high legend ranks with Exodia Paladin before. I've used Exodia combo on Seto Kaiba in Hearthstone.
That's sick.
Yeah. I love playing my good old grandfather's deck. And one of my favorite cards of all time is Auction Master Beardo. I love that card in that deck with Uther. I love being Uther. He's a great deck knight.
Yeah, that's for sure.
have not played that deck since it was standard, because I played it in standard. I haven't really given it a shot in wild. I don't even know how it would fare.
It used to be really good with 2 mana equality. Once they nerfed that to 4 mana, it kind of skewered it. But it was sleeper, like really powerful. I treated it kind of like a tier 3 deck. But at that time, like you had aggro decks, right? Some mid-range decks, but mid-range decks don't really exist too easily in wild. But you had aggro decks and control decks. And one of the control decks was Odd Warrior, right? And you'd have like really good matchup against aggro. No Hands Gamer at the time. This was like a year ago or so. The last Wild Open. He was like rank 2 legend. I queued into him with Exodia Paladin, and he was on Odd Warrior, and I beat him. He's an incredible player.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. You know, I mean, there's not very many decks where you can, you know, that just have like you win the game. You know, I mean, it's Exodia Paladin and Mecha'Thun. That's about it, right?
Yeah, it was almost like Mecha'Thun. Yeah, before Mecha'Thun, and then now Mecha'Thun is kind of just it's sad because Mecha'Thun's kind of quicker, and it also the new hot deck, which is Quest Mage, has an incredible matchup in the Exodia Paladin pretty much no matter how you build it. So the metagame, too, doesn't favor it very well. Back in those days, it was like Odd Rogue, even Shaman, Odd Paladin, Odd Warrior, and like there's other Reno decks, like Reno Warlock and stuff like that. There's decks that could have disruption, like Dirty Rat, that you have to play around, and then you're playing around hand size. But since you get those good matchups against the Odd Rogue and stuff like that, that really helped it.
Yeah. Very cool.
I remember when Cold Blood was 1 mana. Very OP.
Oh yeah, I missed that. I missed that card.
Oh man.
Almost feels like pre-nerf Demon Hunter.
Oh god, yeah. We'll talk about. I saw people playing Beardo in Demon Hunter to cycle the hero power, and that's I kind of like it. I mean, after the Warglaves nerf, like maybe it's a good card to put in there.
Yeah, there's some cards that were kind of like fringe viable. They kind of got cut because there wasn't enough slots.
Yeah,
that's a good example. Cobalt Spellkin is another example. Where I've seen that card be insane. Like for my opponent, it gave him 2 twin slices.
Of course it did.
But I play that shit and it gives me garbage 100% of the time. But the opponent gets 2 twin slices.
Of course.
Yeah, when you play it in Demon Hunter, that's what it gives you.
Well, when I hit Legend with it, I think it was 2 months ago. I was running 2 Cobalt Scalebanes in mine because there was only 2 1-mana spells. You were either getting Mana Burn or the Silence one. Consume Magic. And like it was great. It was so disruptive. I don't know. I mean, it worked well for me. I think my final boss to Legend was a Druid, and I think it was like turn 9 or something. I played a Cobalt Scalebane and got 2 Mana Burns. Played them both, and it just locked him out of the next turn. It was great.
Yeah, speaking of that matchup, like I think that's gotten a lot more Druid favored since the nerf because I couldn't believe how good those Warglaves are against Spreading Plague.
Oh yeah,
first couple times. So it's just such a big buff for Spreading Plague that's out of Odd Demon Hunter.
Well, and Odd DH has these cards that get buffed from when you attack. What is it? So you get Lowly Squire, plus you get Battle Fiend, plus you get what is it? Hench Clan Thug. Yeah. And
the Satyr Overseer too gives you the 2/2s.
Yeah.
So got a lot of synergy with that weapon.
Well, R.I.P. Oh man. Oh well. All right. Well, we got lots and lots of news tonight, so I want to get started going into it a little bit. Before we go there, I do want to give a big shout out to our patrons. So Shokunin, thank you so much for being the executive producer of our show. We really appreciate it and couldn't do it without you. And Adam Westhousing for being a patron of the show. Thank you so much. And that being said, let's jump into it. Like now, so obviously the new set was announced, but one thing that I thought I'd bring up before that is that Hadija was formerly on the Hearthstone team and tweeted out this week some news about Hazelbark, which is really funny. Hold on, let's see here. Okay, so check this out. Here's the tweet. So remember how a while back I talked about how there was a sexy version of Hazelbark that didn't ship? Well, they found it. And so like I know everyone is freaking out about the Hazelbark art to begin with. But check this out. Like it's just can you imagine if that's in game? It's pure nightmare fuel. I love it.
Yeah, that is amazing. I kind of wish that is what we had, or it could be like an alternate skin.
Right. At least give it to us as an alternate. If for those of you who are listening to this and not watching the video, you gotta watch at least this part. So,
you could check it out on her Twitter. She posted it on the 15th, I believe, and she's got the art there.
All right. Okay, so here's the big news, right? Scholomance Academy, Hearthstone's newest expansion, was just announced. So, as usual, 135 new cards, but there are some new things this time around. So, they have something new called Dual Class, which is it's cute, right? So the theme, and I didn't play WoW, so I don't know it very well, but the idea is Scholomance Academy. It's like Hogwarts, right? And so the idea, dual class, just as an idea, I think is super cool. But it fits in really well. Like, hey, it's like double major, right? I think is how they sell it. So the crazy thing to me is, I think historically in these sets, you know, if they were having, you know, some kind of special thing, there was like, okay, well, there's 10 of these or whatever. But they said out of this 135 cards, 40 of them are dual class. So here's the combos: Druid and Hunter, Hunter and Demon Hunter, Demon Hunter and Warlock, Warlock and Priest, Priest and Paladin, Paladin Warrior, Warrior Rogue, Rogue Mage, Mage Shaman, and Shaman Druid. So I don't know. I think especially as a wild player, this is just going to be pretty crazy. So I'm looking forward to that.
I really enjoy how it's not just like Druid and Hunter, you know, cross over with each other. Druid also crosses over with Shaman, and then Hunter crosses over with Demon Hunter. So like it goes around, right? So there's going to be, just in Wild, there over Standard, there's going to be potentially a lot of crazy things you can do with this.
Yeah, when I heard about this, before I saw the pairings, I was really, really hoping for Mage Paladin. But I guess they had the Mage Shaman to help out the Shaman, because Shaman's really weak. Shaman also got paired up with the Druid, so that should help them out a little bit. Well, but I'm pretty excited. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it should be cool. I mean, they talked about it. So there was an interview. I can post it in the show notes, but there was Celestalon did an interview. I believe it was with IGN, but they were talking about these dual class cards, and they talked about the reason that they paired these particular classes together, and they said it was based on class identity.
Okay.
That they wanted classes that, you know, somehow kind of went together. And so, like, there's clearly, like, there's not going to be a Paladin Warlock card, you know. Mm-hmm. Although, that being said, Warlock Demon Hunter is a little interesting. If you look at, like, what little I know of the lore is, like, hey, Illidan kills Gul'dan, right? And so, you know, Demon Hunter
that'll
kills...
be for some sort of zoo-style sort of thing, Demon Hunter Warlock.
It could, yeah. I mean, and even the Galakrond Warlock can get pretty out of control. So throwing in some Demon Hunter stuff in there seems pretty crazy. But I don't know. I like it though, and I think they've only revealed one card so far. But man, we have got a lot left to see. So
Mage and Shaman being together, I think, is pretty neat. They both have spells that go face. So,
well, just the one card that I've seen so far is pretty gross as far as like it slots right into Quest Mage. So
Yeah.
like, 1 mana devolve, like okay.
Easily.
Yeah, devolve missiles. Anyway, so I think one of the things that we had talked about doing this time around on the show, as opposed to what we've done in the past, is to discuss the cards as they're released, as opposed to, like in the past, we had always waited until the entire set was dumped and then done like some disgusting 6-hour show where we're all tired and grouchy, and my wife is mad at me, and you know, it's quite exhausting. And I think, I mean, the other piece of it is like, if we talk about them as they come out, like we're all excited too, and then we're up with current events, and then we don't necessarily need to do a 6-hour podcast later. So we do have the cards to talk about later in the show. So we'll get there. The next thing I have is, so there's a couple new keywords. So the first one up is studies. So a study is a new type of spell that allows you to discover a card immediately and also reduce the mana cost of the next card you play of that type. And so, yeah, I don't know, discover. So the example that they give, Nature Studies Druid card, discover a spell, the next one costs 1 less. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know, like, until you see them in play.
It seems so good though.
It does. Now I watched the cinematic, but I haven't watched the announced trailer yet that Dave Kosak did. So I'll have to do that, because I imagine they probably played a couple of these. But
You want to know what that reminds me of?
Yeah.
Primordial glyph, kind of.
Oh yeah. I like that.
Druid Primordial glyph.
Yeah, because it's free, right? Like if you're planning on already playing a spell that turn, it doesn't matter. This costs 0 essentially, or you discover whatever you need.
Yeah, I like it. It's interesting. I mean, I think sometimes when they do these new things, it's hard for me to picture them until I see them in action. But I like the idea of it. The other one, and I apologize, I don't have a graphic for it though, is called the other type is it's called Spellburst. So Spellburst is an ability that causes a minion to do something the first time you cast a spell with it in play, and only the first time. So you have a minion in play that has Spellburst, and then you play a spell, and that minion triggers an added ability. I think the important thing is that it only triggers once, because I think there was a minion that they had announced that, I don't know, lets you... God, I don't remember what it does at this point, but I was like, oh crap, there's going to be some infinite combo with that new...
Yeah, that might be the one that returns the spell to your hand.
Oh yeah. I saw that and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
if you put that with Lightning Bloom, like, it's just okay, 10 mana turn 1 or whatever, right?
I mean, it seems like they intentionally designed the studies to pair really well with the other mechanic.
I like that. Yeah.
Like they synergize well with each other. With Spellburst. Studies in the Spellburst is like, oh, I'm playing my spells, I'm getting reduced spells, and then I'm playing my spells so I get the effects of my Spellburst cards.
That's cool. I mean, it seems fun. I don't know, it's hard when they haven't announced that many cards yet, but I like the idea of it.
Some of these cards are so this one is so strange to me. Goody Two Shields.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. I've got all what is it, 10 of them I think lined up. So
good. Are you going to talk about Troublemaker or the first day of school?
We'll get all of them. Yeah.
Okay.
So I wanted to go through the announcements real quick. Let's see here. Okay, so they did announce that they are updating the skins for class weapons. So in the past, they've always been all gray, and there's been a colored border around the text. But as they explained it, I think they were shifting to focus on class identity. And so with that in mind, they were like, oh, well, the weapons, you can't even identify what class they're from. And so they're reskinning them all. Effective July 30th, they gave an example of the hunter weapon Stormhammer. So it's going to be like green with a little gold border now instead of all gray. So I think that's super cool. I mean, it's just a cosmetic change, but I love that they can do that. I mean, I guess that's the beauty of a digital card game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do appreciate that a lot, because when they would announce a card and you're just scrolling through Hearthstone or whatever and they just got a picture of it, I'm like, wow, that's a really cool weapon. What class is it from? And you're kind of like looking at it. And...
Shaman.
They should have done it so long ago. I
It's a Shaman
feel.
weapon every time.
All right. What else do we got here? Let's see. Okay. For those of you who don't have it, the Nax card back returns. Yeah, Mike was saying that he started playing a month after this came out, so he missed it. I started playing. I don't have it either. I mean, I do now because I just bought it, but I missed this one too. I started playing between Nax and Blackrock Mountain, and so I missed this one as well. So I was happy to get it, and I know there's always this kind of controversy with collectors. I think Hydra or Mentalistic, you were saying that they don't reward longtime players, right? And so there's this argument, right, that like when you play one of these old card backs, and people always play like the rainbow one because it's the first card back, and that's more of a badge of honor than like a legend card back or something that.
I think
it's like I'm an OG. I've been playing for a long time, and
people bought the Pandaria.
The Pandaria. Yep.
Know?
And so, there's the argument that like you devalue it by letting people buy it. But you know what? The collector in me is so happy. Is so happy because it's just another one to check off the list. So you can get it in the store right now. It's either $2.99 US or 500 gold. And I mean, at least they give you that option to spend gold on it.
For sure.
Yeah, I just want that first card back.
It's gorgeous too. I know.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
The golden one. That's the I see other people on that, and then when you beat them, you should get it. You should be able to take it from them.
You should.
Yeah, really
like the
good
virus
idea.
one. Like the virus
it's
one.
Like it's like a championship belt, I feel.
I know.
Like,
I've done
they're
that
the
before.
champion, and then you beat them, you should be able to take it.
Or at least get a copy, right? Yeah.
Or get like a fake looking one.
You're like one
Like a
out of 30.
one.
You got to beat 30 of them to get all 30.
Your fake one has like a watermark on it.
Oh God, that's good. All right. Okay, and so everybody, just for logging in, gets this copy, 2 copies of Transfer Student. It's a 2-mana epic 2/2 that has different effects based on which game board it's played on, which I think for Wild is pretty crazy because there's lots of game boards. It's interesting to see this, and I think we can get into the effects or the I don't know. You know what? I've got them right here, so let me just bring them up.
Let's do it.
This was from a Reddit post, and I don't know if there's been anything added since it was initially released, but like, what? Let me see here.
I got them here too.
About 25 different possibilities, and so that's pretty crazy. So it could be all kinds of different things. It seems to me like an auto include in most Reno decks just because it's utility. Like, I don't know. I mean, it seems to me really like there's no downside to it. It is interesting. They did a Reddit AMA, and this card came up as far as supporting it in once it rotates to Wild, and they essentially said that they're not. it's a little different than that, but anyways, Battlecry deal 2 damage. It could get stealth, poisonous. It could get divine shield. Give a friendly minion +1/+2. Death rattle, add a random death rattle minion to your hand. Battlecry and death rattle, add a spare part at the end of your turn. Reduce a random card in your hand by 2. It's a little mini Emperor Thorson. That's crazy. Inspire, draw a card. Battlecry, add a random weapon to your hand. Discover a new hero power. Spend all your mana, summon a minion of that cost. Interesting. Add a portal, a Karazhan portal. There's a Mean Streets hand buff. Adapt. Add a random Death Knight card to your hand. Like, these are all pretty good.
So, well, when you look at that one, you're like, holy fuck. that one is like, yeah, if there's a ranking of them, I'd say the Frozen Throne one's like S tier, right? Yeah. The Blackrock one, you're talking about the Mini Emperor, I've got 6 mana cost reduced it already from this.
Wow.
Playing even Shaman on a ladder, on ranked, on EU.
Wow.
Hey, that's awesome.
There's some of them that are really good, like the GVG one you're talking about, Goblins versus Gnomes. The Battlecry and Death Rattle add a spare part. That's like overboard. Like, I feel like if it's like average, it's like, okay, it adds a spare part. But no, you get 2, right? And that's almost like, remember back in the day, you had to pay 6 mana for a 5/7 that did that. Now you get 2 mana.
For the Frozen Throne one, if you're playing a Reno deck and you get, say, Valera, suddenly now you actually have duplicates.
Ooh.
Right?
Good call.
Yeah, some of this stuff is pretty spicy. Like, I don't see it, like, even the ones that suck are not that bad. Like I'm not a big fan of the dormant cards, but even this, like, deal 3 damage to 2 random enemy minions, is not bad.
Almost none of them suck. That's the thing. When you look through all of them, you're like, okay, the worst ones are like, I get something. I get a Death Rattle minion, random. I get a dragon. You know, it's lower tempo than maybe some of the others, but value-wise, you still get something nice.
Right?
I think one of the worst ones my friend was pointing out was discover a new basic hero power. And I even had that be really good for me before, because I was even Shaman, right? Because I was playing the card even Shaman. And I got the opponent kind of low, and I played the teacher student, swapped over to the mage hero power, and I could ping him down, and then ping his ice block down as secret mage, and then kill him for the final damage with no board.
That's pretty good.
Like, Finley can be really strong sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Even so.
Well,
Which one do you think is like the worst? Even Scholomance is going to be like decent. Add a dual class card to your hand.
I don't know. That might not be bad. And yeah, I missed that one on when they did this post. It wasn't there yet. I don't know, but some of these dual class ones are not bad. I think
add a
like
dual class card to your hand. I mean, that could be a complete miss, I suppose.
It could, but I think like you said, it's like, you know, this card is really good for generating value. Like, there's definitely the random effect, but I don't see why you wouldn't slot this into like your Reno Mage or Reno Quest Mage. Like, you're getting the random cards that didn't start in your hand does not seem bad at all. I don't know. Doesn't seem bad to me anytime you're playing like a more control-y deck or a value style deck.
Especially in standard too. I know we're wild focused, but just the fact that it can be strong and wild in certain decks. I don't think it's necessarily going to replace like old cards, but it's kind of the flavor of the month, and it's solid. It's very powerful in standard. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Like, it's playing a little bit of this in Stealth, Galakron, Rogue, and it was really sweet.
Makes sense. Well, Nick, I mean, I always forget, but this is an epic. I mean, you can run 2 of, so there's some pretty good potential here.
It's very random though.
Nah,
Keep in
that's
mind.
true. That's true.
Very random.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's we're still good. I don't know. It seems pretty cool.
Hmm.
Okay, so check this out though. Let's see. Is it this one? Yeah, okay. So they did a Reddit AMA, and I can post a link to it in the show notes if you guys want to read everything. But there was a couple things that stood out to me. I think Mike sent this over to us.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought this up. Go ahead.
So they said that this is in regards to transfer student keeping up once standard rotates. And they said, let's see here. We plan to update transfer student with custom effects for new boards while he's in standard. After he rotates to wild, new boards will get a consistent battlecry, discover a blank card where it's a card from that expansion for each board. Plans may change in the future, but that's what we're thinking right now. So does that mean that they retroactive like change all of these? Like, discover a Frozen Throne card, discover a Kobold's card, or is this just for?
No, I think it's just for the new expansions that they will release in the future.
Oh, yeah, that makes.
Right.
I mean, that makes more sense, right?
Let's
I
say
don't know why.
fairies versus sprites in 2021. They're saying like we're gonna have a one for that. We're gonna continue to update it in Wild.
But it'll just be a discover a card from that set.
Battlecry, discover a card from that expansion. Exactly.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
that makes sense. I mean, better than not supporting it at all. I mean, I
It
remember
might get weaker, but
it might. It might. I mean, it definitely gets diluted, or the random factor goes up. But I don't know. I remember when they were talking about not updating Deathstalker Rexar for Wild, and there was this big like outcry, like, oh no, you guys, like, how dare you do that? And
yeah, that's laziness.
Yeah.
And they eventually made good. So
This card is a good example of like Blizzard not being lazy, though. I feel like in card design, like they're saying we're willing to go the extra mile, design this awesome new cool card, like Zephyrus kind of reminds me of, because they're like all this shit,
Well, and I think people say very often that like Blizzard doesn't consider Wild, and I think this is clear proof of the opposite, because it's got all these effects for Wild boards that, like, you got to remember that probably 3/4 of their fan base plays Standard, right? I mean, I don't know what the actual numbers are, but like the majority of people playing this card won't experience most of these effects. So we get the cool ones. I mean,
it almost seems like it was designed for Wild, like to be eternal Wild card, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Especially. Sorry.
I'm glad they addressed what's going to happen to it after it rotates, because when what card was it? When Whizbang was in Standard, I was always wondering what's going to happen to it. And then ultimately what happened to it, I think it's kind of unfortunate. But anyway, I'm glad Transfer Student is going to discover a card from said expansion once rotation comes.
what did happen to Whizbang? Didn't it just die? I mean,
so they didn't change it. It's just going to copy the deck recipes from Standard. So when you play it in Wild, you're playing a Standard deck.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I got a golden one of those too.
Yeah.
Did you craft it golden, or did you open it
No,
golden?
I crafted it golden like day one,
That's
just because
rough.
I was like, I'm gonna have 1 million or like 9 golden decks, or what, you get like 3 for each class, right?
True.
Yeah. So I was like, it's free golden decks, and I mostly crafted it because my son was really into Hearthstone at the time, and and then they did the thing where you can play each other's decks, like take and so that way he could just click Whizbang, and we could verse each other, and we get both have cool fully golden decks. So
Awesome.
Yeah, but rip, I guess.
Oh well.
I'm glad they didn't apply this change to all those old Wild sets. That's basically what I wanted to say. Like, if they just made all the old WoW sets discover a card from that expansion, I feel like that would be doing a little injustice, but
Yeah.
because they went back and gave us all the new cool effects, I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty nice nod from Blizzard to Wild. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, shout out to them. They definitely did something there. Definitely paid attention.
There was one other question on the AMA that I thought was pretty interesting, and we'll talk about it. You know what? Actually, I'll skip it. It has to do with the new Warrior Legendary, so I guess we can jump there in a minute. But speaking about since we're here, speaking of Blizzard, shout out or Blizzard, I guess, and the Wild community. I was super excited to get a Scholomance 55 card bundle giveaway from Blizzard to give out to all y'all. So that's super cool. Was very excited for that.
Shout out to Blizzard for that. That's amazing.
Yeah, shout out to Blizzard and shout out to Chris Sierra, who really hooked it up, and really appreciate that. And so we'll announce it on Twitter or whatever. But I thought I wanted to do a little thank you there, and feels good to be.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. They sent you one. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting. So, anyways,
they
and I know
recognize.
Mike, you're giving out one as well. So if you want to check out Mike's Twitter, I know you've got one. Going, and
Yeah, it's pinned to my profile.
beautiful. When are you doing your announcement?
I'm going to do it on July 29th on my stream.
Okay.
3 p.m. Yeah.
Sweet. All right. I'll do, you're doing yours on the 29th. Okay. We don't know when this set comes out yet. They haven't announced it.
I'm guessing I saw Hearthstone or Hearth something on Twitter say August 4th.
I think that's what I was thinking as well. They did release the schedule of card reveals. So,
yeah.
But I don't know when the final dump is, but the 4th makes sense to me. You guys think that sounds about right?
What day of the week is the 4th?
It's a Tuesday.
Okay.
So, Tuesday.
That sounds about right.
Tuesday, 1:00 Eastern.
Cool. Yeah, I want to give ours away on the show, so I'll post something. But I'll pick somebody at random on the show either next week or on the 31st. I don't know. We can talk about it offline later. But watch our Twitter, and you can for news about how to get in on that. So, super duper cool.
Right on.
All right. So, do you guys want to start talking about these cards that they showed?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Definitely.
All right. So I'm just gonna go in order of the order that I've got here on my notes. So we already talked about Transfer Student. So I think we're pretty good there. And kind of what I'm getting from that is card seems interesting. It's at its worst is a 2-mana 2/2 with a pretty big a lot of RNG to it, but a lot of value at the same time. So I don't know. It seems really fun if nothing else. And I do want to acknowledge that they gave us a new card to play 3 weeks before the new set comes out, which is kind of fun.
Nice little distraction card.
Yeah, it's almost like a lackey that you can put in your deck.
It very much
lackeys are random as fuck, but they're really good.
All right, so first one I have up here is the Legendary. It's a dual class, Hunter and Druid. It's called Shando Wildclaw. It's a 3-mana 3/3. Choose one. Give beasts in your deck +1/+1, or transform into a copy of a friendly beast. I swear I saw Duin or somebody tag him on it, like a way to get. What is it? You play Emperor Thorson while you've got.
Yeah, it's a 2-mana King Crush.
Yeah. You've got Bran, both Brans in your hand, right? You get this reduced down to 2, and then you've got Bran reduced down to 2, and King Crush down to 7, something like that, or get OTK right there. Seems
the Dino Tamer down to 6. Yep.
Yeah, I like it.
24 charge right there. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I don't know. This seems pretty fun to me. I like it, especially God if you play it early. I don't
Yeah, I'm
know.
going for it.
Yeah, at that point, it's a Prince Keliseth if you just want to, buff everything. And we know how everybody hated Prince Keliseth. I figured that in standard maybe, just a thing you want to do, or they're probably gonna want to do Bran as well, and just go face.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I don't really see a downside.
Yeah, I like this card a lot.
Or you know
It
what?
does.
I mean, I've been wanting. It's always interesting to think about really old, unsupported archetypes. That
Mhm.
like freeze shaman or like beast druid.
Beast Druid.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
so
I was thinking
when I see
same.
this, I go, oh, and then I see
Yeah.
this. Well, like, oh, I can play the card that lets me like my choose ones do both. I don't know.
Mhm.
There's some
True.
there's
Is
some
that
potential.
Fandral Staghelm or?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I do think this card though is better in Hunter than Druid. Though it seems better than Hunter than Druid,
Oh,
just because
100%.
it's
Yeah.
easier to make stronger in that class.
And it would be Quest Druid too, right? Because that's the reward is choose ones, do both.
No, that's druid.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what
no,
I
I'm
mean.
sorry. I'm sorry. The new yeah.
The Fandral Staghelm effect
Yeah.
for the quest completion. Yeah,
I don't know
Yeah,
how
I feel
good
like-
it would be, but it's a thing.
Yeah, I feel like the trick here is like the quest druid choose one, but the real juice here is to copy it as King Crush and win the game.
yeah, with the Emperor Tarzan.
Like,
16
yeah.
damage combo. You can run in Highlander too. You're going to see Doohan running this in Highlander
Yep.
Yeah.
without Emperor Tarzan, and he's just going to copy his 7-mana King Crush.
Yep.
And he'll
Easy.
probably get you with that for 16.
On curve, easy.
Or if it sticks for a turn, death.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I like it. I don't really see a downside to it. And I agree with you 100% that like in Hunter, it'll see play for sure. In Druid, it's a meme. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I would like love to see it work. I don't really think that's gonna happen, but
It's a beautiful card.
yeah, it's cool. Oh, by the way, this was another thing in the AMA. Someone had asked like, hey, how are these dual class gonna work in when they're golden? Because typically the golden cards like replace all the color with gold, and there's like a ribbon. And they said it'll be the same, but the ribbon will be split down the middle. And you have both colors. So, an Imic says Hadronox Druid. Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
All right. Next up, we've got
Next card.
I've got Wand Thief, which is our
Yes, sir.
I think Mike likes this card.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go. So this is our first dual class card. It is 1 mana 1/2 combo. Discover a mage spell. So you've got your mix of rogue and mage here, which is pretty cool. I don't know, Mike, you want to take it? What do you think?
Oh, I think this card is awesome. There's been too many times where, as hard as believe this, like in Quest Mage, you need spells to finish the quest. Sometimes when you play the deck enough, you get to those games where you just like a dry path. But also from the rogue side, comboing this card out, you could do this with Pharaoh Cat. This can find you cards to activate cards for like Vendetta or for Spectral Cutlass, decks like that. You can find
100%.
Fireball. You can find a Glyph. You could find puzzle blocks as Rogue. You can find, but I also found out you can find devolving missiles with this card.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So they
This card's nuts.
clarified. Yeah, they clarified that any of these dual class cards count as like
Their respective classes.
right.
Yeah.
So if it says discover a mage spell, you could discover a mage dual class spell because that counts as a mage spell. Yeah, so this could possibly yield some pretty nutty results.
I mean, you could even play this on turn 1 as a rogue. Going second, you could backstab something, whatever they put on the board, put this down, and discover a spell.
Discover is one of the strongest mechanics they ever released.
Yeah,
awesome.
right, because so you get to pick out of 3. Like this seems a lot better to me. I mean, a lot of people right now we're running the Pharaoh Cat or whatever it's called. Like this is better than that, right? I mean, you have to combo it, so it's a little
that's
different.
the problem. Slightly worse on turn 1, but with the coin, completely easy to combo.
Yeah.
Again, in Quest Mage, like you said, should be easy to combo.
Yep.
You get coins and stuff off Licensed Adventure, like it's a small.
The only
cycle.
other play I want to do in Rogue would be like Pharaoh Cat into was it Shockbot, but that's not always going to happen. My luck, I always get the Mummy, so I'd rather just play this card right here, get a Fireball or something, get a Glyph.
Yeah, I mean,
excited for it.
Typically the mage spells are pretty good, so
it's like Ethereal Lackey for Mage, but you have to combo it.
Yeah.
Combo that one's 5 mana.
Rogue.
Combo's not that hard to do.
Definitely not in Quest Mage.
No.
Yeah, for sure.
Licensed Adventure gives you a coin. Yeah, you get coins all the time.
All right. So here's our next. This is the other legendary that was announced. It's our warrior legendary. Hydra, you want to take this one?
Let's see what we got here. Yeah. So Rattlegore. Basically, this one looks really cool. Probably pretty slow, especially in Wild. You're probably not going to want to play it on curve. It's like the way it works is like a reverse Jade. So when it dies, it'll become an 8/8, 7/7, all the way down to 1/1 till it's gone. It's the type of card that seems really cool, but if you play this, say, on a board that's empty, I guess maybe it would be pretty sweet. But if they've got a full board and you drop this, I mean, they're just probably going face and ignoring it. Yeah. So, I feel like if there's a world where we have like a big warrior and you can cheat this out, then it'll be pretty cool. But to me, it seems really cool but slow.
If you could recruit it out, maybe. If you could recruit it, that'd be pretty sweet.
Or if your opponent plays Dirty Rat, that'd be sweet.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to show you one thing. Here, let me move this real quick. This question was asked in the AMA. How does Rattlegore work with N'Zoth the Corruptor? And I grabbed this because it's specifically a wild card. So it says, so here's the answer. You'd get a 9/9, an 8/8, a 7/7, etc. Kind of like a series of Jade Golems, but in reverse. So you could drop it with N'Zoth and get a pretty big board. Granted, they don't have taunt or anything. So
little nod to Dead Man's Hand Warrior, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. No, man, I don't know. I mean, I saw some of those like Alpha Chord guys doing some pretty crazy stuff with Dead Man's Hand over the last week or two. So there's some possibility here. Like Imik is in the chat right now saying like it seems really cool, but not sure where to put it, and I kind of agree.
It's difficult to cast. That's why you guys were talking about recruit.
Yeah, maybe. Or you know,
it's on the battlefield though. It's insane.
It's definitely a value card for sure. Now, I don't particularly think that they take Wild into all that much consideration when they make these. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it's better in Standard. Maybe you've got more of an opportunity to play it in Standard. I'm not sure. But I don't know.
This would be a crazy. This would be a crazy summon if you're playing Priest and you spend 9 mana to summon a minion of that cost. I was thinking of other ways this card could pop up. Maybe if you evolve into it.
I'm thinking of like copying it with Bloodsworn Mercenary or something.
Yeah.
Like, give me
yeah.
2 of these, and then I can trade with them, and then I own the board.
Oh yeah, then it's game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what happens if you can somehow play? I mean, mana-wise, this doesn't add up. But if you could have an Umbra on the board, and then drop this,
it'd be like,
wouldn't it just fill the board? It'd be like Spreading Plague, but way better.
Oh shit, you're right.
yeah, no, it would. It would be like these. It'd be like those Matryoshka dolls, right? Here's this big one, and here they just like do. Yeah, no. I think you'd fill your whole board with little rattle gores. So
Gotta try that.
The mana cost is the problem.
You think you'll get 1/1?
I don't know why. It'll trigger the death rattle. So
9988 7766 and then
so.
a 5/5 or something before the board's full.
You know the crazy thing though, right? Let me ask this, right? If like the way that Umbra works is that when a card's played, it triggers the death rattle. So when you've got Umbra out and you play the Rattlegore and it triggers an 8/8. What then happens? Then the 8/8 triggers its death rattle, right, to make a 7/7, and the 7/7 triggers its death rattle. I think that's how it would work, right? It's not going to be some. I mean, but it's kind of
Wild Card Hearthstone says Geppetto, Umbra, Rattlegore, but the problem is Geppetto gives 1/1 copies.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't work.
Then it'll just turn into a 0.
It'll just kill itself.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Ain't gonna work.
All right. Okay, well, we got some more, so let's pull up the next one. It's that one that we were looking at the very beginning of the show, Nature Studies. So here it is. Okay, so this is our 1-mana Druid spell. Discover a spell. Your next one costs 1 less. So is that what? Is that your next spell costs 1 less?
That does seem like what it's saying. So what I was saying about this one is it just seems like this card is a 0 cost card, right? In a lot of cases, if you're planning on playing a spell anyway, so you can discover a spell and then you can play whatever you were gonna play in the first place, or if you're just looking for an out, I mean, you play that and you could get, like whatever you need, but it ends up being free most of the time.
Yeah, well, just think about this in conjunction with Kel'Thas Sunstrider, right? So you play Kel'Thas, you play this for 1, you grab another 1 cost spell or a 2 cost spell or something low that gets reduced, and then you can play your UI for free, something like that. I don't know.
Or just go renew the UI if you need it.
Yeah, I mean,
those cycle turns are crazy.
Those cycle turns get pretty crazy. The only thing I guess that's tricky is with Wild in particular, especially at this point, the card pool is so huge that you get offered 3 cards out of 100.
Yeah.
Like what is the likelihood that you're gonna get something awesome? like I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're playing against me, you'll get the UI. If you're playing against Mentalistic, then you get offered crap.
Innervate.
Turn 10 Innervate.
Maybe you get the Lightning Bloom.
Oh God, yeah.
And then you could get your Ultimate Infestation in your hand out.
We'll see. I mean, this doesn't seem bad to me. I don't know. I think what I struggle with is what deck would you put this in?
Yeah, that's a good point. The first thing is Gadgets and Auctioneer, I guess, with Emperor Thaurissan, which is just not very competitive already. But I don't know what deck really needs this.
I mean, you could put it in. I mean, I saw some people running Kel'Thas in there's this kind of crazy cycle OTK style deck that was popular for a couple weeks I mean, I saw like Solomon Raffle were playing it. I haven't.
Solomon Raffle will play with this card. You won't see them playing it.
But I saw. I mean, you could put it in Mali Druid.
Just some sort of auctioneer cycle, maybe.
Definitely.
That's the thing, right? I don't know. It'd be interesting you start discovering Jade stuff from it, but I don't know. It doesn't. I think so. Here's the problem with Wild, right? Our decks are so refined at this point that when these new cards come out, like that's the question that we ask, right? Is this new card better than my old card? Like, what would I take out of this perfect deck to swap with this? So like, this new card has to be better than the old one. Or create a new archetype, right? One or the other. And I don't know that this does either of those. So, I mean, I could see it being played in some kind of funky meme, Kelthus, OTK, cycle, Gadgets and Auctioneer sort of thing. But I don't know.
Gimme Sex says, I mean, this is probably a better Raven Idol, but I'm not sure if you want to play Raven Idol like the first place.
No, then that's the problem, right? So I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
And we'll see if they get lots of spell burst cards. Like you're like, how do I trigger my spell burst for multiple turns in a row? Maybe even, and that card might be able to help you with certain conditions. But it's like you said, it's that classic, Twitch chat saying, "Why aren't you playing natural studies?" to the streamer. The streamer says, "You tell me what card you would cut from my awesome deck to put that in, and then you can find an answer."
Yeah. No, you're right. Okay, so next one up is Wretched Tutor. It's a 4-mana 2/5 with Spell Burst, deal 2 damage to all other minions. This reminds me a lot of that minion that we see in Secret Mage. I can't think of the name.
Flak Mage.
Yeah, right. This is your anti-demon hunter tech right here, right? Because they have all these 2 health minions. I don't know. Doesn't seem bad. The only problem that I see with this is it's all other minions, so it hits yours too. But
hey, so I put a link on it in the show notes. If you get fancy, if the meta will allow this, Toxic Arrow will make this 2 damage kill everything because it'd be poisonous.
Yeah. No.
So Hunter could have it clear maybe.
I love that. Well, and I think Duin was doing something similar with Ravaging Ghoul, right? Where you shoot the Toxic Arrow at the Ravaging Ghoul, and it's board clear also. So I think that would work. The cool thing with this one is, you do that combo and this minion still lives. So
that's true.
I like it. I'm trying to think of what it would go in. Maybe you plop it in your Reno Hunter deck. I'm not sure. It's certainly very interesting, and I'm sure that somebody smarter than me will come up with an interesting use for it. I do want to say I absolutely love the artwork. I think it's rad. But
it is.
Yeah, the
golden.
Really
I bet gold is really, really cool.
Oh yeah.
The purple animation.
Oh right, and the flames. Yeah, it's got to be super cool. So I don't know. I mean, we have to remember. So these are the first cards that they've announced, and usually they save the spicier stuff for later. So this is interesting, though. Interesting. All right. Let's see. What do we got next? The next one up is Diligent Note Taker. So Diligent Note Taker. It's a Shaman. Shaman minion. It's 2 mana 2/3 with Spell Burst. Return the spell to your hand, which I think could be pretty nutty. In I don't know. I could see it being awesome. I Blue Train's in the in the chat.
God,
I love it.
DJ.
Right.
My
No, but
goodness.
just think about this, right? This is not bad in even Shaman.
No.
This is not bad in aggro Shaman. Like, especially the totem version, right? Where you're playing these cards to, buff your totems or duplicate them or spell damage to the face. Like, yeah, no, this could be,
This card is amazing, period.
Yeah.
I think, and a lot of what Blue Train and myself and Wildcard all hit Legend this month with Big Shaman. And this card could work in that too. Like if you're playing one of these that, what is it, like Ancestral Call or one of these, like it could do some
yeah.
It could do some damage. So I mean I want to test it and see, but I don't see this being bad at all. I think this especially for aggro druid, but maybe for your big druid too, I don't know, could really get out of hand.
I do think something like Lightning Bloom, I'm sorry to spoil that. I guess we'll talk about it later, but that would be better effect in Big Shaman than Diligent Note Taker.
True.
But the Note Taker might be better in like an even Shaman, especially because they kind of wanted a nice 2-drop. That's why I was trying the Transfer Student in the first place. Some people run Cryostasis in that spot, which is like, is Diligent Note Taker better than Cryostasis? Probably, actually, because you have 0 mana, Totemic Surge, Totemic Might, and you get that back easily, and that's like a draw card, except it's return powerful effect. Maelstrom Portal, Crackle, Devolve, so many good spells.
This card is ridiculous.
It's a good thing to note that like it has such a cool effect, a powerful effect, but they didn't give it a crappy body. Like it's still a 2 mana 2/3, right?
Blue Train wants to put in everything. Definitely like your standard Highlander Shaman. Or any meme shaman, this goes right into the meme.
This though, I could at its very worst, right? It's a 2 mana 2/3. And so the stats are not bad at all. If I want to meme around with this and put it in some kind of like Shutterwalk deck or a Jade deck or something, like it could still put in some work potentially. So I don't know. I think, but competitively, it seems pretty crazy. I have to give it Blue Train. We should shout out since he's here. We all used the same deck, right? It's Hejo's Big Shaman. Blue Train hits Legend with it. We chat about it. I hit Legend with it the next day. Wildcard hits Legend with it a couple days later. And then Blue Train goes over to EU and hits Legend with it again. It's like, so big shout outs for Blue Train and appreciate you for sure.
Yeah, props on that.
But yeah, I like this card. We'll see. For me personally, I feel like the aggro shaman is really good with this. I think, or even Shaman the totem version, I think is probably really good with this. But the other decks as well, I think would be okay. I'm not a Shaman main, so I don't know, but that's my intuition.
Right on.
All right, here's one that Mentalistic you wanted to talk about. Let me pull up the artwork here. Miss Goody.
I want to talk about all of them. I'm glad we got me on here.
Miss Goody Two Shields here.
I love the name.
All right, this is
it's very clever.
So it's a paladin 3 mana 4/2 with Divine Shield, spell burst to gain Divine Shield. This reminds me of like a Battlegrounds card, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem bad to me. I don't know. I don't really have too many thoughts on this other than that it seems okay. I'm sure there's probably some busted stuff that you could do with it. I really don't know. Mentalistic, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, so like the first thought that was going through my head is like, ever since you were a noob, you're like, oh, can I put a Divine Shield on a minion that already has Divine Shield? Just Divine Shield the shit out of it, and it doesn't work, right? It's like they say, you can't do that. And then they're like, now you can. And it's kind of like bothers me a little bit. But can you still get like Like say you spell burst, can you have 2 divine shields on it? 'Cause it
No,
has-
no. This is I think what it's for is right. You pop the bubble, and this lets you add a new bubble. That's all.
Yeah.
That's so much more lame because it advertised having 2 shields. I thought you could like cast a spell and you can get infinite shields on it.
Holy crap! Could you imagine if
I would
you could
love that.
if you
Double
could
bubble.
double
Yeah.
bubble?
Double trouble.
New name.
Double trouble.
Oh my god! If you could double bubble and then like taunt it up with Argus or something like that, right? It could get out of hand.
That'd be
Yeah.
Uh,
But you can't do that.
It is. It's got the same stat line as Cthulhu's Chosen, and
Yeah.
It's got 1 mana cheaper, and it can get its Divine Shield back. So power creep on Cthulhu's Chosen.
Like
Yeah,
I
I
don't
like
know
it.
if you put this in Odd Paladin, maybe as like there's a slot for it. There's slots for it, but normally you put like 1 drops or something in that. But
You potentially could because you've got the 3 mana card that gives you your 1/1s.
muster for battle. You
well-
run the secret, the blessing of might.
Yeah, and the weapon too.
Does it give you it? No, yeah, okay. It just gives it divine shield. Yeah, it does run a lot of cheap spells, like even Lost in the Jungle, etc. So I could see a world where you could like trade it, and you get your divine shield back, but it's pretty weak.
I like that if you play this on curve, your opponent is gonna want to kill this thing, right? So
Yep.
like if you play it on turn 3, they're gonna want to probably run 2 things into it because they don't want you to get the divine shield and have to run 2 more things into it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No,
also,
I think that's a good point.
I play. It might sound crazy. I got this from a Chinese server. It's a quest paladin, secret pure paladin builds like that. Playing this on curve would be awesome. And then down the line, where you have your Librams discounted, if this were to live a turn, trade with it and then get the shield back.
True.
Yeah.
You could
Actually-
make
I
it
actually
big.
did. I played some games before the show tonight. Obviously not with this card, but the Chinese server list. It was pretty cool.
They've got some really fun lists over there. I have to give them that.
Yeah.
I like it. So yeah, and Imik saying Rallying Blade is the name of the weapon.
Speaking of that, I've been running even a Chinese server list lately, and I've been really liking it in the new post-nerf meta.
What is it?
Hey. Yeah, what is it?
Nerebar Weblord in even Shaman over the
Ooh.
transfer students, and they're running it for like the Quest Mage and stuff. Quest Mage is creeping back up into the meta game, but I faced like 5 mages or something in a row and just demolished them all with the deck. And
You should post that list in the Born to Be Wild Discord.
all right, we'll do.
I love it. I love it, Mike. It's good
Mhm.
stuff. All right. What's next? Colt Neophyte. So let me pull that up here. Okay, this is a neutral minion. It's a 2 mana 3/2 with a battle cry. Your opponent's spells cost 1 more next turn. I don't know. I don't envision a world where this fits into any one of my wild decks.
The
But
only thing that I can sort of think of is against a mage that has Sorcerer's Apprentice on the board or something like that, and they're trying to pop off, and this doesn't allow them to do what they wanted to do. I don't know if it's good enough or if Quest Mage is in the meta enough for this to matter. It seems like too much of a leap for a tech, but I could see it working there.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious as well, but not quite sure. I don't have high hopes for it, but
Not as good as Lothab.
No, it is not.
That's
Not as good as Lotha.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go to. I want to save Mentalistic looks like he's taking a real quick break, so I'm gonna skip this next one because it's nutty and I want his opinion on it. Let's go to Onyx Mage Scribe. So it's a 6 mana 4/9 dragon. Spell burst. Add 2 random spells from your class to your hand. So this is a neutral card. So you get, I don't know. For me, like, I think I'd rather play Cobalt Spellkin, right? But I don't know. The stat 6 mana 4/9 is seems like a pretty big. He's got a big butt, right? I don't know. I
want to play this as mage. Drop like a frost. What's it called? A ray of frost. Free something. See what 2 random mage spells I get.
Yeah, I could see it in there. Like an Arena Mage or something like that. Other than that, I don't see much of a home for it. But yeah, like a one of.
I mean, I did see like Cream Puff was playing Reno Dragon Quest Mage.
Reno
Dragon Quest Mage. This fits in. Right?
Reno Dragon Priest too. I think maybe it's like fringe playable, right? It's like about as good as Big Ol' Whelp. I feel if you see people playing Big Ol' Whelp, it's like, it's just a dragon. You draw a card. This is like, you're a dragon. You get some random spells.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you play it in your Reno Quest Mage. You want to draw a couple random spells, like especially I think in the Reno Quest Mage is harder to complete the quest. So this could work. I mean, and I think the thing that I like about it is that it's got a big body, and so if nothing else, like the stats are pretty good considering you could trade with this, and that the spell burst is not a one-time thing like a battle cry, right? This is like if they can't kill it, you get this every turn. Like, now it only it will only proc once per turn, right? But like, or is it the spell burst only a one-time thing? Is it just one time period?
It's only a one-time thing.
Oh, that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad.
Spell burst is an ability that causes a minion to do something the first time you cast a spell with it in play, and only the first time. So it's not a battle cry after you cast a spell. You want to make sure your order is good. You need to play the minion first, then cast a spell.
Gotcha.
Your spell burst to trigger. First time, you'll get the effect.
Copy
but
that.
I really like this one.
I don't know. Yeah, I like it too. Like
you said, Reno Quest Dragon Mage. Great home for it. You could use it to activate your Malagos, and maybe you can play this on turn 7 with a Ray of Frost or some cheap thing.
I mean, if there's ever a broken minion with spell burst, I guess there's always Shadow Step.
I didn't think about that.
That's true. That's very true. Big true. Shadow Step is a good one because it should proc it, give it back to you, and you could trigger it again. Pretend like it's the first time, all over again.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's good. Okay, all right. Next up is this Shaman Mage spell called Devolving Missiles, which this seems pretty good to me. So this is a dual class, 1 mana epic spell, dual class between Mage and Shaman. Shoot 3 missiles at random enemy minions, and it transforms them to ones that cost 1 less. So it's a random devolve on 3 minions for 1 mana, which, if nothing else, like, do you see this in Quest Mage? Like, it's a 1 mana spell that devolves. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you cut for it, but like, I don't know. But
you're muted, Mike.
There we go.
Mike had something you wanted to say. All good.
Yeah, I was saying, I don't think I'll put it in as a main card, but I would love to discover it off of Evocation. And have Sorceress make it 0, and then Flame Waker to get the damage off it since it can't go face.
So be a top pick off something like Magic Trick, you'd say.
Oh,
Primordial
dude.
Glyph,
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah,
Evocation.
anything that will reduce its
For
cost.
zero. For
Magic
zero.
Off
You
a
get
cliff.
this with Source's Apprentice, and you're ripping, and you go Evocation, and you get Devolving Missiles, and you just throwing them down, and your opponent's board becomes shit, and then you got Flame Wakers ripping.
It could be so gross. It could be so gross.
Yeah.
I like it. It has potential. I don't know. Like you said, I don't think that there's anything that Quest Mage deck is just about as refined as it can be. But that's what we said last time, and then they printed Evocation. We're like, oh, I can take out a card and put in Evocation.
I'm definitely putting 2 Wand Thieves in mine. But this card right here, I definitely see it getting played from the Mage side more than the Shaman side.
More than like a Highlander Shaman.
No, yeah, I don't think I would play this in Shaman. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's cool artwork.
That's what I always say when it's like a crappy card. Hey, the artwork's really good.
That's a crappy card.
But yeah, no.
Frog.
Niceties.
Yeah, this will be good golden.
You know that somebody had a lot of fun making that art.
Oh,
right?
heck yeah.
Evo
was it Matt? I think it was Matt Dixon. He does all our favorite Murloc cards. Okay, I saved
so good.
I saved the most busted one for last.
Oh, another point. You could
wait.
A tech choice in Secret Mage.
Hey, Nate.
Yo.
I think we're missing the artwork for another card. It's called First Day of School.
Oh, yep.
Oh.
It's a Paladin card.
Yeah, no, I got it on here. Let's talk about it. There we go. All right, yeah, 0 mana. First Day of School Paladin card. Add 2. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Add 2 random 1-cost minions to your hand.
2 Wand Thieves. I'll take it.
Yeah, no, they're not. It's not class specific, is it? It's just 2 random 1-cost.
Yeah.
The thing that I struggle with this, like when I look at it, it has good flavor, especially for the set. But like, I don't know what deck I put it in.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing for now.
Yeah, for now. Good point. Always.
You want to go back to old unused crappy archetypes. You put it in hand buff Paladin. So.
I like Paladin. It's my favorite, but this card looks like crap. So.
I mean, it's not. See, my problem with it is it's not draw 2 1-cost minions from your deck. It's add 2 randoms to your hand. So it could be anything, I don't know. Especially in Wild, like the card pool is so huge that I don't know. You could get 2 awesome cards or you could get 2 terrible cards. Like, I mean, that being said, it's 0 cost. So do you really but I don't know.
I know. It's for Mountain Giants.
If only it worked that way. Oh yeah. Action Junkie in chat says maybe it's a miracle card.
That's why
you put it in like an OTK Paladin deck with Gadgetzan. You use it just to draw through your deck.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
It is a 0-cost Paladin card. We're lacking on those, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of 0-cost Paladin cards. What do we have?
Just the healing one, right?
That's pretty much why we've never seen a Gadgetzan Paladin deck work.
Yeah. Well, and I think, Imic is saying that like in some of the like the Control Paladin or the big Paladin decks, like there really is not a lot of early game stuff. And so, maybe this generates a couple of early game minions, which it definitely does. I mean, I'm still struggling trying to figure out what deck I would put this in. So I would challenge someone like, hey, make a deck with this and see if it's good. I'm having a hard time seeing it. But that being said, like we've seen, less than 10% of the cards of this set.
Yeah, that's true. Spellburst is another point that you can make. It's 0 mana, right? So you can play a minion, and then you can instantly trigger its Spellburst effect and get 2 1-cost minions to your hand.
That's true.
Oh, the Consecration. What card was that?
Yep, exactly.
The tutor.
Mm-hmm.
The 4-mana 2/5. Yeah, for example, like we might see better spell burst cards if we see a really good spell burst card that's maybe neutral or even paladin.
Yeah.
Then the card could be better. That's a good point. Why you said we haven't seen all the cards yet, so you can't say something's going to be completely trash until you see synergy.
That's true. No, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Here's this last one I've got here that I think people are already saying is gonna be broken before or be nerfed before the a couple months in. All right, I'm just trying to find the artwork. There he goes. Lightning Bloom, dual class card between Druid and Shaman. Gain 2 mana crystals this turn only. Overload.
Oh my god.
Overload 2. So yeah, this just seems busted. Like absolutely busted to me. Now I keep seeing people putting these like insane OTK combos all over Twitter. But like the chance of you actually being able to do one of those is the stars have to properly align for you to get the right cards in your hand. But gain 2 mana crystals for 0? Like, come on.
This is wild.
Right? This is super busted.
Super wild.
All right, so I want to hear everybody's hot takes. So let me I don't know. Let me start out with Mike because I know you had some notes on this.
Oh yeah. I got a nice Aviana Malygos combo just waiting for this card. So as much as I say this card is crazy, I'm gonna hate it. At the same time, I'll be playing it daily. So I'll be abusing the hell out of it until they ban it, or ban it until they nerf it.
Yep.
Because they don't ban cards, they just nerf them. So I'm ready for it. Instead of hating it, I'm just gonna use it every day. I'm ready. Why not?
Good idea.
Hydra, what do you think?
Yeah, like in general, the ramp is just nuts, right? Like you can just, play this purely for the ramp, but yeah, there's the OTK hype, right? Like I've seen for Shaman, dropping a Malygos and then playing 2 of these, and then you can lightning bolt, lava burst with your Malygos on board.
Damn.
So, pretty sweet. I think so. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's incredibly difficult to hate this card for me at all. Like I love it already so much because it reminds me of a card game I used to play called Magic the Gathering. Big time. This is like a Magic the Gathering card, and it just feels like you're cheating a little at Hearthstone, but I love that.
Yeah, and if you're using this for an OTK, right? Like you obviously don't care about the overload because
there's no next turn.
There's no next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Like even in an aggro deck, like could you see this potentially an aggro druid where you're all about the first 3 turns of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you can get control over that, you're just you have all new high roll if you run this card.
Let me ask you, do you see this in like a token druid? You remember the one what is it? The one where you gain a board full of 2/2s depending on how much mana you have, right?
Living mana?
Roots.
Living mana.
Living mana. Yeah.
Living mana.
You play 2 of these on turn 1.
Living mana, you just destroy your mana crystals. It's like you're overloaded, but you destroy your mana crystals.
I don't know.
Nice. That's actually good because it's like I have no mana anyways.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's
yeah, that's actually
science.
smart. That's smart.
Let's do that for
I like
science.
that. That's synergy. You're innovating out. You're basically just saying innovating out living mana. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hey,
but
so
oh, sorry. Mark of the Lotus is what I was going to say. But yeah.
I have a question. So is this the best card of the set, or no matter what the best card of the set is, everyone's gonna focus on this card? Too early?
What? Okay, I saw this meme. Let me.
Definitely the best out of what we've seen so far, I think.
What's funny though is that someone posted it in our Discord, and I thought it was great. I gotta look it up, and I can't change my screen here, but I'll do it on the phone. Where it's that meme from Despicable Me, right? Where the guy's got the different like flipboard. So right, step 1, nerf innovate. Step 2, nerf zero cost cards, and then step 3, they print this.
EK says, "Holy shit! What about Big Druid with Astral Communion? Weren't we playing that because we lost? Oh, we weren't playing that because we lost Innervate, which was the turn 1 Astral instantly." He has a good point.
Yeah.
It's Astral Communion all over again on turn 1.
Oh boy.
You can only play an 8 cost the next turn, so you have to like run 8 cost, which is inconvenient. But after that, you have 10 mana. True.
Interesting.
But silly.
You know, I mean, this creates so many. Like, this is a.
It opens up so much.
Yeah. No, there will be entire YouTube videos made of just insane plays based off this card. So, yeah. No, I don't even know. This seems nutty though, and I could see this being run in pretty much any Druid deck. I don't know. I see no downside.
I think Blue Train right now, he's dreaming of like a turn 1 Colossus of the Moon. A control player. Just hit him in the face 3 times. He's dead by turn 4.
I love it.
They can't even kill it. They can't even kill that card. It's got Reborn Divine Shield.
Oh my god. I love it. Yeah, no, I don't know. But let me ask you a question, right? Do you play this in like even Shaman or any Shaman deck for that matter? Like, why not, right? I mean,
it's definitely up for consideration because of how strong it is, right? And it's high on tempo because you're sacrificing a card for instant gratification, you know, that instant mana, which is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
The only thing, you know, I guess the only downside I see to it, like you said, it's
Blue Train.
Well, and it's an innervate, right? So it's not permanent mana gain. It's you gain mana this turn only. And so I'm sure there's some kind of like swingy wombo combo that you can do with this. I mean,
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, I mean, you do pay for it in some regards the next turn, but I think from a pure like utility point of view, it definitely goes in more of the like OTK style decks. But
yeah,
you know,
over Shaman, like that would want more diligent note taker for sure. I think that card's going to be a lot better in that archetype and fill a role that it really wants.
Yeah,
because it's going to add recursion and it's not going to take away value, and you know it's going to help you be more aggressive too. But I do think that the Lightning Bloom opens up a lot of different combos too. Like you were saying, combo decks are going to love it.
Yeah. Well, super cool. I'm excited for this new set. Anytime there's new sets that come out, I don't know, always super excited. But this is fun. That being said, I think I forgot to mention earlier with the pre-release bundles that you can get, we got another mage skin. So mage has what? How many now? 4 or 5?
13.
13. Our poor rogue has 2. So
there was still 4 cards left, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Oh.
Troublemaker is one of them.
Yes, we did not do Troublemaker. Yeah, that's the 8 mana 6/8 for Warrior.
For
8 mana
Warrior.
6/8.
Yeah.
You're right.
Hold on.
Hold
I'll
on.
send.
I got
I'll
it here.
send-
I got it here. Here we go. Yeah, you're Mentalistic. You take it.
Just a second. I'll send them over first because I want to talk about some of these.
8 mana 6/8.
Oh, these
Yeah.
ones. These
All
ones
the-
were revealed accidentally. I think.
Oh, they were revealed accidentally, so we shouldn't talk about it.
I have
I
trouble.
think Troublemaker is on purpose, though, right?
No, I have that one. I have that one.
Okay. All right. I guess we'll talk about this then.
Whoa. At the end of your turn, summon 2 3/3s that attack random enemies. So if the board's empty, 6 face.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I'm all about face. My bad.
I love. I do like that they have. I swear, like I feel like some of these cards get this flavor from like Battlegrounds. There's such a Battlegrounds effect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I like it. 8. So this is a warrior minion, 8 mana, 6/8. At the end of your turn, summon 2 3/3 ruffians that attack random enemies.
I mean, that's a lot of stats.
Yeah, if that lives on the board, right, it's just gonna be problem.
Yeah, because it's every turn.
This is the type of card I just see, and I'm like salivating to play that in arena. You know,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
it would
It's like
just dominate the game.
What's the Warlock quest, original Warlock quest? It does that. You don't
Nether
have to-
portal. With
Yeah,
the
you don't.
The Nether
Yeah, you don't have
portal.
to complete the quest. It just does it when you
Mhm.
play it.
Yeah.
I like that they attack random enemies though too. So if nothing else, right, you play it at its weakest, right? It's an 8 mana 6/8, and you get the 2 3/3s like same turn. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't really see a downside. It's definitely not going in any like aggressive warrior deck, but I could see it going in. I don't know.
Maybe that Kargath control warrior deck.
Maybe. Or hey, you know what? If someone can make a recruit deck, this could go right in too because it's not a battle cry. It's an end of turn effect. So
It's also to be noted. It's an even card, so definitely not.
I
going in
know
any odds.
I'm kind of sad about that. If it costs 7 or 9, like you could slot it.
Oh.
You could slot it into an even
Yeah,
or an
in
odd warrior.
warrior. Yeah, and then it would see play. If this was 7 mana, it would be busted.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But no, I think if just like that legendary, right? The Rattlegore. If somebody can pull out a decent recruit warrior, this could do some work.
Mhm.
Because of the end of turn effect rather than battle cry. This works okay. What is that card that says your end of battle cries happen? End of turn effects happen twice.
Drakari Enchanter.
Is that that's a neutral card, right?
Neutral 3 mana 1/5 epic minion.
Costs 3.
Yeah.
What a shame.
So can't fit it together unless you Emperor or Coin.
Yeah, but no, I mean I don't know that you really want to do that anyways. Like, I mean still like I struggle to find a place where you like what deck do you add this to, and I can't. The only thing I can think of is some kind of recruit. I wish that there was another way, but I just don't see it.
Dimensional Ripper.
That's what he says, yeah.
So
They have a lot of synergy with that card in this expansion. With the big minions, if you can land them. But it's tough to play large stuff in Wild. Let's be honest, unless you cheat it out.
that's the best way.
Yeah, even like 6 mana's like bordering. It's like 6 mana, you might be dead versus aggro.
Yeah. Well, and that's the predicament that we always find ourselves in, is that our decks are so refined, you know, you're playing either like really heavy control or heavy aggro or some combo or something like what do you swap for this card? And I really don't know, unless it creates a new archetype. It looks really fun. I'll give it that.
Mm-hmm.
We do see like almost every expansion though, Highlander decks get new tools to play with, and they keep getting stronger. I feel like in Wild.
They do.
Mhm.
Well, and that's the thing. I think in Wild, like I mean, I've been banging this drum for a couple years now, but like at some point, there's no reason not to play a Highlander deck in Wild, because the card pool is so big that, I mean, it was hard when they first came out.
Exactly. Yeah.
But now, like, there's so many choices, and if I want to play a Highlander warrior deck, like, okay, I'll drop this guy in. I mean,
yeah, you can play this on 8 as long as you got your Reno on 5 or 6 versus the aggro deck.
this is a pirate. Yeah, you still lose to Pirate Warrior, but
yeah, I'm gonna quote Danny Donuts on this one. Like, we're always getting closer to every single class having a Highlander deck. At some point,
Inevitable.
there's gonna be a viable Highlander deck for every class. Like, when we have a big enough card pool.
I can see that. Totally agree.
Yeah, one of these days. Hey, so we're running a tad long, so I guess this is the last card that I have. I saw that there were a couple more that were like stream sniped. But if you guys are okay with it, I think I want to wait on them until they're revealed officially, just because we're running a little bit long, and I wanted to talk about these decks that Mentalistic brought. So we'll
talk about the cards next episode.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about more, and I think what we'll do,
I like that,
is as the cards get released, we'll talk about them each week. So we'll have lots to talk about for a while now.
All right, next Friday, can't wait.
Yep. So we got this Even Shaman featuring the transfer student. So, I mean, it's kind of the classic, Even Shaman list here, but with this 2-drop transfer student dropped in. So, Mentalistic, what did you? Number one, I guess my question is, what did you pull to add transfer student, and what do you think? Is it a meme, or is it good?
Sorry about that. Yeah, so I do think that the card is good. Let me tell you what I dropped for it. So basically, this is a slot where most people run Christology, Earthen Might, some other 2-drop that it's questionable, right? People like to fill it with different things. Earthen Might, Christology, maybe more 4-drops. Like, you could see an extra Draenei Totem card where you could see an extra Faceless. Yeah. But it adds, having the 2-drops in this spot, I was personally running Earthen Might in this slot.
Okay.
And the Earthen Might allows you to buff totems, which allows you to copy them with Splitting Axe. Not a card that you'd keep in the mulligan, but kind of a curve filler. So I just use this card more as like a curve filler to fill the curve in the Even Shaman and to add the consistency of the 2-drops. If you don't get the eel or you don't get the golem, you can kind of run into some issues maybe with your curve as Even Shaman early. So transfer students to fill this slot. And, until potentially we get the Diligent Note Taker that we see, and we see that go live, we can see that replace the transfer student in this build.
I agree.
Now, I've actually started running -1 Squall Hunter +1 Stormbringer in this exact build. And I think that the Stormbringer is kind of good.
That's the legendary spell that turns your stuff into random legends. Is that right?
Yeah, especially, I don't know how that's going to work with Diligent Note Taker, though. Will you get another Stormbringer back, potentially?
Yeah.
You go for another reroll, or will it transform it before the spell burst goes off?
That's a good question. I think you would get it back.
Get it first, yeah. So
I think that's right in the order. Yeah.
That might even have additional synergy there. But yeah, as we were talking about, Transfer Student has a lot of different powerful abilities. And the one that's won me the game is the +1/+2. I mean, this is a slot where you'd normally be running buffs to buff up your totems to make them active, and +1/+2 is so good on Parandaria board. 2 damage is like a Mercspark Eel. A lot of the times I'm finding the card is relevant. Sometimes it's, discover a dragon, and then you're already running Squall Hunter, so you can even discover dragons that have synergy with other dragons. So I do feel like the card naturally has more synergy in even Shaman, because it's more of an aggro style mid-range deck that can kind of run out of value, and it will give you value in those in those times. And the only one that kind of has some anti-synergy is the replace your hero power with another hero power. We talked about that earlier. Like, it was even good for me. I have never got the Death Knight, but the dream is you play this card and you discover anti-magic shell.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then, so that's what you want to do in the tournament.
I like it. Hey, let me ask you, how do you like the lurker below in this list? Like, I've always...
it's been insane. I call it like a Godzilla card.
That's what it looks like. It's a kaiju, right?
Yeah, kaiju. Like, the opponent needs like metal robots to fight this. They don't have that yet. So,
or Mothra.
Yeah, they're playing with pirates, and their whole board goes bye-bye.
Yep.
I've just had people instant concede to their board being wiped out by this card. And going further into the 2-drops, like I was talking about the Chinese version that I was playing without Transfer Students, with the Nerebar Weblords against the Quest Mage. But this version would still be good against Quest Mage, and is still good against Quest Mage, for example. Just because even Shaman is good against them, and you could spread wide and build a nice totem board, and you're aggressive, which is, you're not playing from the back foot like a Reno deck in that matchup, and definitely expecting to see a lot of that matchup in the current metagame. But yeah, so with this deck, 67% win rate over about 20 or 30 games. So it's kind of small sample size, but really good win rate.
Nice.
Even Shaman's still strong into the meta. The nerf Demon Hunter, the Transfer Student, it helps a lot into nerf Demon Hunter. I coined out Transfer Student with the 2-turn. Okay, it's like the Awaken effect. After 2 turns, you deal 3 to 2 minions against Demon Hunter, and they just couldn't play their minions because it just got blown up by the Transfer Student when it wakes up.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Some of the effects are like really cool how you can play them, and like that one in particular, like really good on turn 1. Then another one that I found was really good was the Rush Overkill. You want to play it into like a 1/1 or some junky minion, but you can honestly just sacrifice it to cycle itself. Right. Then we already talked about the Inspired Draw card. Your hero power costs 1 in even Shaman. So it's just every turn, if it lives, you just draw a card. You can hide this card behind Thing from Below. Hiding that behind Thing from Below is how I got the -6 mana cost reduction.
Okay. Ooh, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. What is an Olddoom Plague spell?
Like Plague of Flames. That's the one they gave me when I did it.
Yeah.
It's like Plague of Flames, but there's all different plagues. Plague of Murlocs.
Plague of Murlocs, yeah.
Got before.
Plague of Mac. Yep.
Yeah. My opponent got Plague of Murlocs on me before and transformed my Sea Giants into like shitty ass Murlocs, and I lost the game because of it. I was balding.
Oh God.
That's pretty amazing.
Hey.
I played this deck only 3 games to prepare for the show, and I haven't played even Shaman since it's been totem focused, and so I was basically winging it, and I went 3-0. I
Nice.
mean, could have been just complete luck, but no, it seemed to work. So I think I'm gonna jam it a little bit more this season.
Yeah, it should be fun. Hey, look at this one, the Boomsday one. Okay, it's a 2 mana. If you've got 10 mana, crystals gain +5/+5 and taunt. Or it's taunt anyways, I guess. So you get little 2 mana, 7/7. That's not bad. People complain all the time about random effects in Hearthstone, but I think everyone that I've heard, at least on this card, is that like none of these are bad, right? So you get a random effect, but number one, it's like what it's going to be based on the board, so it's not like a completely random. Like what it is what you're getting yourself into. Yeah. And all of these are pretty good. Like at worst, you get Discover a Dragon or
the Reborn's like underwhelming.
The Reborn I think is
I had that one before. Just kind of have to deal with it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think good. This is a good example of like good RNG. So, yeah. Anyways, so I've got one other deck that you brought for us, and we're approaching the 2-hour mark. So I think we can chat about it for a minute or two, but we should probably, unfortunately, not spend too much time on it. But it is this Mecha'Thun deck that we've got here. So it looks pretty standard to me with this Dollmaster Dorian plot twist Mecha'Thun deck here. I noticed that it was running 2 copies of Gluttonous Ooze, which makes sense because at least for this month, like good lord, there was so much aggro on ladder.
Yeah.
But at least what I saw, like, okay, so I hit Legend after last week's show, last weekend basically. I hit Legend and playing Big Shaman, and so many people were playing Odd Demon Hunter, and I think it was just that kind of final hurrah before it got nerfed because everyone was wanting to play Warglaives.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know if you still need Ooze. Maybe you do because Pirates are still really good.
Pirates are still good. You can definitely cut back on the Ooze now, I feel. At least run 1. Sorry, you don't even need to technically run 1. Like, you can run Loot Hoarders instead of it now, but you could run 1 if you want to tech against Pirate. But you can still beat Pirate without it. But, as you were saying, I was running it because Pirate, incredibly strong before the nerf, and Warglaives, incredibly strong before the nerf. So people I was finding like in the 11 times bracket there, like it was like almost 40%. No, it was 50%, like Pirate Warrior and Demon Hunter combined.
Wow.
That makes sense. I think that's
maybe even more Demon Hunter pre-nerf, like you were talking about. Like people want to play with those Warglaives, and it's kind of just good into everything and just a really flexible, strong aggro deck. And the Gluttonous Ooze helps a lot in that matchup too, where you wouldn't think it would, but it does against the Warglaives.
Yeah.
And then also another benefit of Mecha'Thun is if you face against Arena Priest and they're not running Rat, it's a very easy matchup. Because you kind of just combo on turn 8 most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't really do anything about it. Like, they just play minions for the first couple turns, and you just Plague of Flames them and combo. So that's list by KSR at the Wild Meta on Twitter. He made that, and he got rank 8 with it. And I'm like, well, if KSR can do well with the deck, so can I. So
I do love the Hemet, because I've seen lists that have done quite well without Hemet in it, but like for me, if I'm gonna play Mecha'Thun, it's Hemet all the way.
Yeah, not even a question. Yep.
Yeah.
all you got to do is get Plot Twist and get any spell. Could be Defile. Like I had people Skulking Geist me. You just win with Defile, Plot Twist. You play Defile, play Dorian, Plot Twist. No cards left in your deck after you hem it. Yeah, really good deck. I think it's still going to be good in this meta, but again, it loses kind of to Quest Mage. That's one of its decks. It really has no. I actually beat a Quest Mage with it recently, but he was not a traditional build of Quest Mage. Yeah. Reno Mage, I was beating a lot with it too when that was more popular to counter the. And then also in the previous meta where you had Linecracker Druid, right, to combo the Demon Hunter, to counter the Demon Hunter and the Pirate Warrior, you play Runic Egg on turn 1 and they just concede. So that's actually faster than an aggro deck.
Right. Well, no, this has a insane matchup against. Against that deck. I mean, it's a one of those where you win automatically. It doesn't care if they've got 2,500 armor. So
exactly, yeah. So that being popular definitely helped my win rate.
Nice.
Cool.
Well, I wish that we could spend more time talking about this, but we got all these new cards, and I think it kind of stole a lot of our time. But for those folks who are still hanging out, and you guys, if you're interested, and still have time, I know it's getting kind of late where you all are, to do some co-op after the show, would be pretty cool. So, that being said, I want to start wrapping things up a little bit, I think. So, Mike, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at MikeLowTV, streaming Mondays and Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern and Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. And again, welcome to the show. Very happy to have you. And so,
Appreciate it.
And also, I just publicly want to thank you for all that you've done for the Discord. I think you're.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Man, you put in so much work, and the Discord is really been lively and enjoying it quite a bit. So I really appreciate your help.
Yeah, I had to show out for the Wild's only Hearthstone's Wild Hearthstone's only podcast. I just had to step up and clean up the Discord. I'll get the pitch down next episode.
It's late. So I feel you. Hydralisk, where can people find you?
People can find me at Hydralisk_HS, both on Twitter and Twitch. I don't have a schedule for my Twitch streams, so usually I give a bit of a heads up on Twitter before I do that. But yeah, that's where you can find me at.
Super cool. And Mentalistic, thank you so much for coming on. It was awesome talking to you and
yeah, for real.
Talking about these cards and seeing your take on all this stuff. Where can people find you online?
Thank you. People can find me at HS_Mentalistic on Twitter or Mentalistic on Twitch. Those are my main two.
Very, very cool. And also for those of you listening to the podcast, stay tuned. Mentalistic and I jammed out a parody song at midnight last night, and
oh, nice.
And like you were saying at the start of the show, it was a really fun, really cringy song.
Yeah,
but we had a good time with it. So I really appreciate you jumping in on this. We're trying to keep the tradition alive, and it's not always easy. But
no problem. Yeah, it's done to "Don't Stand So Close to Me" by Sting. Remix for Skolo Academy.
Okay.
With some Calpazad flavor in there.
Can't wait.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Awesome. One thing I did want to wrap up, I guess I'll talk about myself super quick. If you were looking for me, you can find me on Twitter at NateWolfTCG. It's NateWolfeTCG. More importantly, you can find the show at, and normally this is where I would go through all of our different social media, but finally have our website mostly done. There are a couple pages that are lacking a little bit of content, but let's say most of it is there. So go to borntobewildhs.com. It's www.borntobewildhs.com. And there's links to everything there. You can listen to all of our past shows. You can either listen to them. There's the video versions if you want to watch them. All of the parody songs are up there. All of the guest hosts that we've had on the show so far, all of their contact information is up there. Working on the back end on some merch because we got this super dope logo that HSSN made. And I've had a couple people ask me for like hats and shirts and stuff. So we're working on it.
Oh, yeah.
I live in New Hampshire. Do you guys have hoodies?
Working on it.
All right. Sweatpants, socks, gloves.
I've got a couple sample shirts. I've got a couple sample hoodies. I really want like snapbacks and beanies.
Okay.
But we'll get that stuff. We'll get it soon.
Nice.
But as far as everyone else, thank you guys so much for joining us, and thank you chat for hanging out and having fun with us. We'll be back same time, same channel next week.
Right on.